So we got this collision channel map, and I think we're also going to want the, that gives us our channel. We're going to need a map. I think we just need to register a callback, which is like get the collision response stuff. So we need like another callback here, which is this virtual, it's like get responses for channel, and you basically just pass in, yeah, we're gonna pass in the channel. So we're gonna do channel, and then we're gonna get the collision response container reference. So it's gonna be container. Let's see, get collision response container? What is this? What does this actually get us? This gets us get collision response. It gives us the constant reference to this. What I want is the actual thing itself. Well, because what I want to do is I want to grab the reference on the actual thing and set it directly. I don't want to do any of this other shenaniganry. And I probably also don't want to suffer a tmap lookup. I probably just want to do a switch off of the actual thing and return it directly. But optimizations, sub-optimizations, not a big deal. Alright, so here we go. And we're just going to return, we're not actually going to return, we just need to get our physics utils. You're all freaking out still. Yeah, we've been having some really bad connection drops to some of our servers here. I'm going to have to yell at Comcast or something. I need to talk to Adam and seeing if he is having the same problems with our version control stuff. Yeah, it's all pissed at me now. Called to get the collision response set to fill out. Fill out a collision response set for the channel. Good. Alright, that's fine. And we've got all that, so let's go to primitive component. Primitive component.h. And we're going to look this method up that has a const reference return. It's get collision response to channels. So yeah, we've got this method here. So it's in primitive component. .cpp. Well, where is it? Where's the actual definition of the damn thing? Oh, let's see. It's not in this. It's not in this thing. Body instance, get response to channels. Where is the body instance defined? Is it primitive body? Primitive body.h? No, it doesn't exist. F body instance. Is it body instance .h? Alright. So I was just figuring out get response to channels. So let's see, body instance .cpp. Alright, so it has to actually set things for us. So we just want to just grab the container for this thing. So our paper flipbook component, when we change our collision, it's comp set collision object type, we're also going to want to grab the collision response container. So let's just do container equals m. So it's going to be overlap callbacks. No, it's not an overlap callback. Well, it's kind of hacky, but we could do it. So basically, like, if overlap callbacks.num does not equal 0, then we'll set things. So it's overlap callbacks sub-0 dot get response for channel. It's just gonna be channel container. And then we're just calling comp set collision responses. If I had a chance to work on a AAA game, well, I walked away from a AAA game. I've worked on AAA games are huge. Like we worked on when we were at BioWare, we would help out on some of the stuff. Like we helped out with some of the Galaxy War stuff for Mass Effect 3, some of the e-commerce server stuff. Everybody had to help out on like the Old Republic when it came out. We sent our mobile team down there, and then worked on games at Amazon. So AAA games they're pretty good in terms of you have your little niche, your team delivers your part of it. That's pretty cool. But independent development, it's like if you can, like, question is, are we going to make any money with the game? And I would go back to AAA game dev if I'm broke, but it's really frustrating at times when, you know, there's only so much you can do on your project and everything has to go right. So if things don't go right, you worked your ass off, it feels really bad when stuff just goes down the tubes, you know? So the reason I like the independent development stuff is, you know, specifically because of a lot of set response. Yeah, set collision response to channels. But yeah, like independent development is just a lot more. As long as you're working, you know, I'm working with some other people, like Adam, right? And if I wasn't working with somebody else, I'd probably go absolutely insane. All right, so channel collision object type doesn't equal it, and set collision response channels. All right, well this should do it. Should get the right stuff. But yeah, independent development I think is what almost every developer wants after a certain number of years in the industry, because working on big AAA projects is really cool. You're like, oh man, I'm working on Halo, or I'm working on, you know, Destiny, or I'm working on the next, you know, World of Warcraft expansion, or whatever. Like, people are gonna know what I do, and you know, I'll be able to, you know, go wear my T-shirt in public and be like, I worked on this game, I'm amazing. On those big projects, I find that a lot of them fail. Like, for every one that works and does real well, there's more where it doesn't. So I prefer independent development. We'll see if I ever go back to AAA stuff. If I get the independent streak out of my body and I just want to tell people what to do, I might go back to doing AAA stuff. But that would be like another 10 years when I'm just like tired of typing code and angry at everything. Where the hell are we accessing its paper flipbook component? Overlap callbacks. It's like, what? It's a set. So we just want to get like the first one in the set. Fine. Fine. We'll do it this way. Game devs got it rough. Well, we got it rough in some respects, right? Like, usually game dev jobs pay pretty well, and you do get to work on interesting things. They're just high-stress jobs, and they're probably not as high-paying as other industry jobs, such as if you want to, as an engineer or something, you could probably make more money at Facebook or Google or whatever than at a game studio, and it's going to be, you know, less vacation times, higher stress at the game studio. But every day you come in, there's something new. So it's kind of one of those things where if you really like it, you like it. Because you're not just in there stamping widgets, and I don't think there's any company where you have better like Christmas parties or just people know how to cut loose in the game industry and have some fun and not really care. Which gets them in trouble sometimes, but you know, and what other company do you roll in at lunch and people are like delayed to a meeting because they were too busy playing each other in Marvel vs. Capcom 3 or something. Like that happens in the game industry. And that doesn't really happen at other jobs. It's like back at EA2D, like a new game had come out. Like I remember Halo Reach came out, and it was like a Friday, and it was just kind of expected that somebody would be playing Halo Reach over in like the TV area. So we'd roll over there, and like we were there until like 3 in the morning, just beating the game. And then, you know, that's just kind of what you did. Alright, so our physics channels should be correct now. Yeah, but while we were there at 3 in the morning on Friday beating the game, there were also 3 in the mornings on other Fridays where, you know, you're tearing your hair out because we go live on Monday with some patch that needs to be fixed. Or production goes down and you're there scratching your head as to why the database just fell the hell over. So always something. Alright, so we need to get the collision response container. Alright, so these aren't actually getting set properly. We need to call our thing before we... Set collision channel map. Where do we actually call that? Well, let's figure out exactly where these things are not getting called. Because what's happening right now is we're setting our callbacks at not the right time. So yeah, this guy is inside of post setup. So we should be calling our movement controller set parent first. Get all animations. For every animation, set flipbook. Yeah, that's just setting the first animation. Let's just have the flipbook component be last, so everything else might mess with the flipbook component. Yeah, I've only actually interviewed at one engineering place that wasn't a game studio. It was a place that was doing smart thermostats. And it's a very different world. It's a very different world. It's pretty funny. One of my friends was applying for a job outside of the game industry, and they asked him like, "Well, how do you deal with changing requirements and when you don't know what your schedule is going to be?" And he's like, "Bitch, I work in games." And they're like, "Oh yeah, okay, never mind." It was just really funny. So movement object. Where is the move object actually called? Set owner is in begin play? Alright, well, looks like we need to break this out a little bit. So we need, instead of a paper physics callback, we need a paper physics. It's not a callback, it's a physics information callback. Alright. Let's see, this is going to be info callback. Alright, paper flipbook component. Pointer. So if info callback does not equal null pointer, then this is going to be info callback. Let me just do that. So that should be good. And we need to call set info callback. Set info callback. Register overlap callback. We'll just stop being lazy about some of these things. Info callback equals callback. Call to set the info callback. Alright, and basically inside of our Dashkin actor, Dashkin entity actor needs to call on the flipbook component. We're just gonna call set info callback this. That should be good. Got a chance to go to a software company. It looks nice, but they did really boring stuff and you can't use C++. Well, that's not necessarily a bad thing, right? Alright, so we need to go to Dashkin entity actor.age, needs to be a public. Both of these things, we're just going to change this to a U, and our entity actor needs to, I mean, we should have this as an F instead of a U if we're going to do this like this. I had never touched a programming language until I went to college. I showed up at college and literally the professor's like, "So, what's your experience programming?" I'm like, I'm smart. I want to be an engineer." He's like, "Okay, that's cool. What have you done?" And I'm like, I had screwed around in this like a game maker program a bit. So he's like, "Okay, cool. Do you know what a variable is?" I'm like, a what? "Do you know what a function is?" No. So I'd say I was like 19 or something like that when I started programming. So if you're 16 and you're already programming some stuff, you're way ahead of where the hell I was. I didn't know anything. I basically had to spend the entire first year in college just with my head in a book trying to figure out what the hell to do, because everybody else knew just so much more than I did. I felt like a complete idiot. I mean, I'm still a complete idiot, but at least I own my own house. Got that going for me. Alright, so I just need to go to move an object and snag the get response for collision channel. And I think I got everything hooked up. Hello Cascada, thanks for joining. Advice is always helpful for anybody who wants it. Error, missing public and class declaration. Dashkin entity accurate. Do I need to have another public here? Recommending books. Well, if you're just getting started, there are tons of books that are really great for reading. I think some of the big ones, they had everybody read Masters of Doom in college as one of like the first things, which was the story about John Romero and John Carmack and all those when they're coming up with Doom and working on Commander Keen. And that was a good one to kind of get you in the mindset of game development and how Wild Wild West sometimes it can be. As for actually learning how to program and like game development books, I found the best one was just sitting down and learning how to read the data sheet and just start working. After the first semester or so, really what really helped me was just getting people around me who were interested in working and then working. And a lot of the books kind of, if it was written down, it was kind of out of date. And it was more important to learn how to learn than it really was to just read a bunch. But that's just me. I know a lot of people benefit from like what Cascada's talking about with reading the game engine architecture. There's game programming gems and AI gems. Other books like that are usually pretty good. I just found nothing replaced actually just getting your butt in a chair and doing work, and that and having friends and people to work with. That's what got me into programming, was the people around you. So let's see, did we actually get our collision channel set properly? This is what we're looking at right here. And it looks like, alright, so enemy hitbox has a whole bunch of ignores, which is what we want, and our physics box is like player passable terrain and all these other things. So yeah, that's looking like we might actually have proper stuff here. So let's take a look. Oh god. I've turned the move speed way down, so that's why things are moving like really janky right now. So I'm trying to test out what was not working earlier. And that looks like that's working alright. Yeah, Assassin, are you planning to go to a college that teaches programming and the rest there? Or are you more thinking something else? Because there's kind of different approaches. If you're going to actually get the holistic, fundamentals locked down in a university or something like that, versus if you're thinking of going it yourself and the self-taught one. Cascada is right. It's not the code that's perfect. It's the code that's good enough. That's basically how game development is. Like I think one of the best things was our game professor in like the first year basically said, "Okay, guys, so you're not writing the code to lower the landing gear of the airplane as it comes into land. You're writing the code to get a player to jump. There are different levels of correct." When you write a bug, people don't die. Virtual people die. It's different. So you're gonna have to get used to being able to code what's good enough on changing requirements all over the place. So it may be faster to just be like, well, try lowering the landing gear, and if it doesn't work, be like, well, fuck it. No big deal. Wow. God, what the hell am I doing right now? I need to start enabling stuff in our movement object. So let's turn on the turning stuff. Is it down here? Is that where it was? Yeah. What I found is, like, when we've hired somebody who went to a college and learned the fundamentals for programming and the rest, they had a really good understanding of data structures and how the computer works as a whole. And they were usually very good at just solving problems that were not just programming problems. Such as if you're dealing with version control, you're dealing with some database or something new. The people who had the fundamental understandings that they learned at like a 4-year university were better at handling those. And the self-made people, the people who didn't have the college degree, were usually better at taking the feedback from the designers and making it just work. But getting everything polished off there usually was a bit of a problem. And it was good to have both types of people on the team, to be honest. so that working. And that's fixing it. So that's cool. Alright, now let's turn on the physics. One university in Bulgaria that has game dev. For what I hear, it isn't good. Ugh. Well, I am unfamiliar with Bulgarian higher education, so I cannot give you advice on that other than I at least do not know any programming schools in Bulgaria. Well, we had one guy who I worked with recently, who he like grew up in Serbia and then he like went to Argentina. He like basically got on a boat to Argentina one day, and he did programming over there in Java for like credit card companies. And then he ended up in Washington State in the USA working with me on games, and it took him years and years and years to go from, because he always wanted to work on games, and it took him like 12 years of professional life to finally make it to a game studio. So if you really want to make games, you're gonna have to take a few risks there. Alright, so now we got our crazy collision stuff going on here. And it looks like it's working as it should. Yeah, it's looking pretty good. I like it. Yeah, if you get a chance to study abroad, do it. Alright, so we got that going. Really cool. Excellent. And one of the things that we found in college was a lot of the people who already had a lot of programming knowledge actually did worse at learning how to program, because they had picked up a lot of bad habits, and wouldn't pay attention in some of the more fundamental programming classes. So if you are learning how to program and everything, and you get into some college classes, or you get into some classes where they're teaching you the fundamentals, it's really important to pay attention and to try to hammer the bad habits out of yourself. Kind of the you must unlearn what you have learned sort of stuff. So we're not getting stuck anymore. So let's turn on the FatSack crappy AI switching of animations. And then we're going to reset our movement after this anim change starts working. German and English. Well, the place I went to, yeah, a classic like normal programming degree, like engineering degree. I think it has like what, 2 years or something like that of actual programming, and usually you learn Java and the rest. And it's not really game dev stuff. Alright, let's reset our movement. But what I really liked about the college I went to, which was DigiPen, was, let's see, the move velocity, let's set them real slow here. It's like maybe a 1,000, 3,000, and then we'll put these down to like 5,000 and 5,000 again. It's basically, we had a 4-year university where at DigiPen basically what you did was it was 4 years, you learned a whole bunch of stuff, and every year you had a game project that you worked on. So at the end of it, you had 4 games that you had made. And like that was really cool. So you had like a whole portfolio and like all the stuff that you needed done over 4 years, and all of the classes kind of built into this game project class, which you made a game all year. And your normal college doesn't have that big game project class, and some of them do. Like I know a few of them, like I think, is it CMU or some of the others, which have the prototyping class, and some others that are real famous. It's really good if you can actually get the projects, because you really need to learn how to work on those large projects, and a lot of the classical education stuff doesn't give you, well, they give you the fundamentals real well. You don't ever get to work on big projects that get nasty, and deal with team problems. If you're working on a big project, usually it's not for that long, and you're not just stuck with people you hate, which is really a big part of game development, is working with people you just absolutely despise. Like me. And still being successful. Alright, so these guys look like they're moving around a little bit better now. We're not getting stuck all over each other. I don't see my warning logs going. So let's add some more of these little dudes and see if we can get them to break our universe for us. They look like they're doing real well. They're just kind of roaming around. They don't look like they're too stuck. Like they're getting unstuck pretty well. Yeah. You're setting component to weight should be. Cool. Alright, well, let's remove that debugging. So set direction 906. Let's start taking some of this out. So, yeah, kind of at the end of those 4 years at DigiPen, the idea was you had been working on this game engine for all 4 years with different people on different teams on different projects. You start off with a text-based game, then you work your way up to a 2D game, then eventually a 3D game, and senior year you can do whatever you want. And that was super awesome because you got to work with all that crappy code. Like senior year, you'd be fixing bugs in your program that you had written freshman year when you were just, you know, dumber than a pile of rocks. And that really helped you get into what real programming is all about, which is just fixing awful bugs. Most of the time you're working with just stuff that's totally broken all over the place. And that's fine. That's exactly what you should be doing. Is figuring out how to make it work. And I don't see any of those angry "I am stuck" messages going on. No, there is one person stuck. How are they stuck? We'll have to figure it out. Alright, so we're trying to set to the origin, and if that doesn't work, then we're trying to flip. Alright, well, I'm gonna try removing some of these debugging things I had in there, and then we'll figure out exactly why something's getting stuck. Now, it may be that some of these guys are pushing themselves into the floor, being on top of each other and stuff like that. Alright. Well, good. This is what we've wanted. We've actually got it pretty stable now. So let's see, what is really going to throw this thing off? It's probably going to be something where we move our character inside of something else. Well, let's just turn off the fixing of the transforms real quick. I should make these global toggles that I can just turn on and off, so I don't have to recompile all this crap all the time like I've been doing. So go forth, minions. Go find what's wrong with my physics. There, somebody's stuck. Let's do it again. Let's just disable all the turning in the directions. Because I'm pretty sure if anything's broken now, it's going to be broken because of just our basic movement has a... It's made for walking on the ground, and all these guys are like walking on each other and all over stuff, and it is not made for... It's not made for that. None of our stuff is like casting array and being like, oh, that's somebody you shouldn't be walking on, so we need to like do some super precise checks here to make sure that stuff shouldn't be working. So it's actually stuff we probably won't fix if it's super rare here, because we won't fix it yet. Because it's just not really a big deal. Because we don't have like a big pile of dudes getting all screwed up. Yeah, and like people are getting unstuck and all that stuff, which is what should be happening if they're having a little bit of problems. Like they're gonna get unstuck real quick from each other, which is totally what's happening. So that's okay. That's fine. Yeah, I got dogpiled. I can't get out. Let me out. They're just not gonna do it, are they? Oh, there they are. They let me out. Oh, cool. Very easy. We're still getting stuck in the basic stuff here, and this should definitely cause problems. Small problems. Yeah, I know. At the end of my college, I had a portfolio website with all the games on it and all that stuff, and it still didn't get me the job because the housing market had just crashed in 2009 when I graduated here in the States, and that took a lot of the economy with it. So not the best time to be looking for a job. Yeah, these guys are still running around just fine. Am I actually stuck? No, I'm not. Yeah, so I think we're pretty good. I think that's pretty much motion. It took me like... what stage of development? We are kind of in the prototype stage right now. We're just getting we're getting some basics running, such as basic movement for the character, and we've got like animation controllers. We got a whole bunch of stuff written, and all that. Like we have the animations and all that, the animation controllers. So what we've been working on the past couple weeks has been just being able to move the character around nicely, dealing with all that sort of fun stuff. This guy is not letting me out, is he? Or I need to click into the freaking window. So the thing is, like, we can walk up the stairs and down the stairs and nicely, move around the environment. Do like basic wall jumps. We also slide down the slopes and all that sort of stuff. Hey, Carrot Can. So we got all these little test things that we're working on. We haven't done like our camera yet. We haven't done our backgrounds and our worlds. We're just starting with movement because it's a platforming game. Platforming games means movement is king. So if we can get the movement to work right, well, then we're in good shape. So we're making sure that we can properly mantle up things. So if I run and hit the wall here, I can jump up, into this little cavern that is exactly my height and stuff like that. Sorting out just little basic movement difficulties. So after we've got movement in there, we can start on other things in our prototype, such as getting the camera working as we want and the rest. So things like that. That's kind of what we're doing at the moment. We made this big test level with all this crap in it, which is completely not what the game is like, and all the geometry is just horribly fit together in order to cause all sorts of problems with our motion. So you can see their seams are just all over the place on these pieces of geometry, just to make it so if we got problems with our movement that we figure them out real quick. So stuff like that. And hello, Karakan. You're pretty much just in time for me to go get food because I am now starving. So I think we're just gonna have one fat sack in there. Just one. Just a singular fat sack. So yeah, we're definitely in the prototype phase of the project. We are not even really pre-production or anything else. We are not entirely sure exactly what everything's going to look like when we're done, but so far it's looking like we're still having issues with perforce. Real pain in the butt. We're not exactly sure if it's going to be 2.5D or 2D in a lot of ways. In that we need to experiment with the 3D backgrounds. And this thing just doesn't want to source control. That's okay. Yeah, keep working on stuff, Assassin. That's what it's all about. Yeah, you have a good one too. Alright. So that was on my short list, was multiple physics objects. Make sure, yeah, so we've got some basics going on there nicely. So mark that off.